Okay, someone on TikTok asked me to cover this case, but once I read into it, I honestly, I no longer wanted to do it. So even though I love for y'all to watch my channel from beginning to end, it's okay if you click off. You do not have to watch this video. Like, it made my stomach hurt. It's very disgusting, graphic, and you just might lose your appetite. If you are a mother, it's gonna make you upset. Hell, if you have human decency, it's gonna make you upset. So the only reason I'm doing this video is to tell as many people as I can, to show as many people as I can that even the normal looking people, the people you would never, ever, ever think will hurt your children, will be wolf in sheep clothing. Welcome to another episode of Jazzyxcrime. This is the case of Denny and Cynthia Perkins. Denny was a SWAT commander, Livingston Parish police officer, and notorious for being a ladies' man, even though he was married. He was married to Cynthia Perkins, who was an English teacher at Westside Junior High. He loved his job, and he had a good friendship with the rest of the police officers. Okay, fast forward to September 23rd, 2019, Louisiana Bureau of Investigation received a tip report from the National Center of Missing Exploited Children that contained information regarding images of child abuse and pornography, including children. They were able to trace the IP address of the user that was uploading these images, and the address was Rosalie Drive in Denham Springs of Louisiana. They obtained a search warrant for this IP address. The completed search warrant resulted in images from juveniles, videos of juveniles, images of a man ejaculating into cupcakes, and images of a man exposing his private area in public places. And they also learned that the users that had these sick pictures and videos was a SWAT commander of the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office. It was Dennis Perkins. They immediately obtained a warrant for his arrest, and on October 22nd, 2019, they found him on a fishing trip in Toledo Bend where he was read his rights. And he told the police he just so happened to toss his phone in the lake right before they got there. And once they started questioning him about images of these bare juveniles in his phone, he immediately stopped talking, and all he said was, "I want a lawyer." And at that very moment, there was another group of investigators searching Dennis's home, and during a forensic review of electronic devices, police discovered over 60 images of a 13-year-old girl. And I will not be going into detail, but in these images is also the wife, Cynthia Perkins, laying next to the 13-year-old girl as she engages with her husband, Dennis Perkins. Other images is of Cynthia holding the child down while Dennis violates her. And the same clothing this 13-year-old girl is wearing can be seen in different pictures of Cynthia wearing these pictures, role-playing to be the little girl. Investigators made him a new warrant for him and his wife, Cynthia, once they found that she was in the pictures of first-degree rape for a child under 13. Now, during this search, Cynthia Perkins arrives home, and it wasn't until she was shown the images of their juvenile victim that she quit talking. She was immediately taken into custody and transported to the Livingston Parish jail. They had massive amounts of footage, like 5 terabytes. Do y'all know how big that is? Like, okay, the average iPhone only holds 64 gigabytes, and there is 1,000 gigabytes per 1 terabyte. One picture is already sickening, but millions of pictures. With all those pictures, that's all the investigation they needed to do. I mean, it already told the whole story. Earlier that year, in the beginning of April, that's when Cynthia held down the 13-year-old, and again in May, and again in June. There was also adult victims that were drugged. He would record them too. In June, he also recorded himself with a dog. With the dog, he violated a dog and thought it was funny and cute, and he planned to get off again with the videos that he took. From 2018 to to 2019, he was ejaculating in pastries and energy drinks, which then were consumed by victims that didn't even know. And by victims, I mean Cynthia's students at the school she taught at. She even took pictures of these children eating these exact cupcakes to show Dennis. He was even taking evidence from the police station home to add to his stash of the sick and disgusting collection. So imagine what is on his phone that he threw in the lake and had the audacity to ask for a lawyer. A lawyer can't even turn this around for you, babe. The juvenile victim one that was 13 years old said that this went on for 3 years, and video showed the child silently crying. The wife, Cynthia, had a daughter, which makes things even more worse. But you have to be an evil person straight from hell to hold a child's head still while she's being violated. Husband or not, who would even help with something like that? Well, guess what? There was 2 of them. So apparently, Dennis had a side chick. I mean, that's no surprise. And she was also helping Dennis violate females and recording it for him. Her name is Melanie Curtin. She was also arrested and sentenced to life in prison, where she was screaming and hollering when they gave her that sentence, like she didn't deserve it. But adult victim number 2 was actually under the impression that she was in a relationship with Dennis. She doesn't remember him recording her, but she was in that camera roll, and she would always wake up with massive headaches and was like, she didn't even know she was drugged and assaulted by her own boyfriend until the investigators told her. In total, they were charged with 150 charges of assault, and that was just from their phone. Cynthia Perkins took a plea deal agreeing to 41 years, and she will be in her 70s in exchange to testify against her husband, Dennis. Of course, Cynthia's lawyer is saying Cynthia was a victim because she was very uncomfortable doing these horrific things to innocent children and women. And Dennis was sentenced 100 years in prison. So again, I want to spread this message to as many people as possible. The people you think are here to protect your children may be the same people who hurt them. You have to protect your babies and gain their trust. Spend time with your kids. Play with your kids. Go into their world and stop treating them like property. And that way, heaven forbid something happens, they will feel comfortable enough to talk to you because you've gained their trust. And that's by simply just playing with them. To see more children's cases, click right here. To subscribe to this channel so that you never miss another video, then click right here. I love you, and we shall talk in the next episode of Jazzyxcrime.